Anti-Slave Question Everything.
Anti-Slave Question Everything. Anti-Slave Question Everything.
Welcome to Anti-Slave Question Everything.
Question Everything. Question Everything. Anti-Slave Question Everything. Anti-Slave Question Everything.
Anti-Slave Question Everything.
Anti-Slave Question Everything. Anti-Slave Question Everything. Anti-Slave Question Everything. Welcome to Anti-Slave Question Everything.
Okay, guys. Hello and welcome to yet another fun-filled episode of Anti-Slave Question Everything. As usual, this is your host, Beau Diggles, and baby, I'm here to spread some truth that is in a world full of fucking lies. Today, this episode is going to be a little different than anything else that I have ever done. This episode is going to be a real-life look at what some of our fellow humans have to go through. This episode is the first part in my series of the face of homelessness. Okay? And the point of this is to put a face to the ones that aren't necessarily very much so represented at all in our society. And this episode hits home for me. This whole series is going to hit home for me because of the fact that I was a homeless, drug-addicted youth at some time, and I really don't believe that things are as easy as most people want to make it seem. I get a lot of, well, if you're in this situation, you should just stop doing dope, and you should just go get a job, and you should start contributing to society. And I don't really think that people understand exactly what these people have to go through and exactly how dire the situation really is and how dire the situation of homelessness really is. I am going to be going down to encampments in this video, in this episode, and I'm doing it with a kind of semi-low quality camera. The audio isn't going to be as good as it is when I'm recording here at home, obviously, but the idea sticks the same. There's a message behind all of this, and the message is that these people are people. These people are my friends. These people are they're getting fucked, bro. Like I said, I've been there. I was a homeless youth. It's just heavy shit. But honestly, we're going to get down there. We're going to get down to the nitty-gritty. This is going to be a video episode on Spotify, and I'm going to release this on Rumble and everything else. But honestly, this episode would be best watched as a video because it's going to contain footage of me going down to the encampments. It's going to contain footage of how these people have to live. And it's going to contain interviews with the people that are down in these encampments and living the way that they are. Now, I believe it's super important to have an understanding of how our fellow humans have to live. And regardless of whether or not some people believe that it's a choice, I can tell you right now that it may be a choice, but the choice to get better is a very fucking hard choice to make. And sometimes knowing your self-worth is a very, very hard thing to do. So my whole point of this is that I just don't want people to look at these people like they're any less than anybody else, because the reality of it is that they're not. They're human beings. They bleed red. I bleed red. You bleed red. Everybody deserves respect and safety. Now, with that little rant, preach out of my way, there's a few things I would have to say before I get to this episode. My podcast is now available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and if you happen to be listening to this on either one of those platforms, I would really appreciate it if you followed my show and left me a review. Any feedback is greatly appreciated. I have the ability now to do this little questionnaire thing where it drops down on Spotify and it asks what'd you think of the episode? And it allows you guys to type in what you thought of the episode. If you're seeing this, y'all should fucking leave me a review at the end. It really does help me and helps throw me into the algorithm, whatever algorithm that may be, that helps me get seen by other people. I've noticed a influx in viewers after somebody leaves me a little review. So if you guys like what I'm doing, I'd appreciate it if you help me out. leave me a review, whatever. If you happen to be watching this on YouTube, I'd appreciate it if you liked this video and subscribed to my channel. Going forward, I'm going to have to tone down the content that I do publish on my YouTube, though, because of the fact that they want to chop my head off. So, to my YouTube audience, I do encourage you to find me and follow me on another alternative platform. I'm on Rumble, Spotify, BitChute. Just look up AntiSlave QE and you'll find me. And for my socials, I do have a Twitter, an Instagram, and a TikTok, and all those accounts are just at AntiSlave QE. I also have a subreddit that I post hard-hitting conspiracy content to pretty consistently. And if you'd like to join that and become a part of the conversation, you can. You can just find it at r/AntiSlaveQE. If you are a listener and you have something interesting that you'd like to chat with me about on my show, a theory, an experience, or anything, you can email me at antislaveqe@outlook.com. You can also directly message me at any of the other provided social networkers account, okay? I will include my LinkedIn in the description of this episode, so everything is super easy to find. Now, guys, with all of those announcements and other shit out of the way, I present to you this episode that I've made from the bottom of my heart with some good intentions, you know? This is the face of homelessness, guys. Enjoy it. Thank you.
You
are listening to
AntiSlave Question Everything.
Trivial bullshit, same face, a different name. Recycle conversations, stare at the same four walls until the paint chips away. Well, I'm a blind man, searching for color in a world that's so long has been gray. I'm a deaf man, chasing the echoes of a song that's already been played. Talk to my younger self, now I'd say, don't take nothing for granted, kid. You haven't seen just how bad things can get. And you never know what you got till it's gone. Never know till it's gone. Well, I could spew some cinematic apology, but it wouldn't do no good. The damage is done, so now all we do is run, pretend our choices haven't killed the best in us. We'll fly a white flag and boast that everything we had never meant anything at all. But when I'm not passed out, when I'm really sleeping, I'm always dreaming of you. If I could talk to my younger self, now I'd say, don't take nothing for granted, kid. You haven't seen just how bad things can get. You never know what you got till it's gone. You never know till it's gone.
See, all right, there we go. See how much we're working with, though?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So, all right, guys, this basically is the segment of these episodes that I want to do. It's called The Face of Homelessness, and basically what I'm here trying to do is put a face to the people that are now downtrodden by society. Okay, the people that are look like they're not necessarily taken care of by society, in my opinion. And like I've kind of been there. Lunchbox, you know what I'm saying?
Yes and no.
Yes and no.
Yes and no. I think a lot of us, there's a lot of mental issues that are getting missed and skipped, and but when it comes down to it, it's the person's choice if they want to get help or not.
Right.
But at the same time, I think society misses those. Like I said again, though, outreach can only do so much if a person says no.
Correct.
I think a lot of us put ourselves here. I know that a drug addiction, in my late 18, 19 years old, started doing drugs. That's what put me here.
Right.
I don't expect anybody to feel sorry for me.
Right.
Nobody put a pipe to my mouth and told me to smoke.
I understand.
But at the same time, when we've got the homeless communities growing,
right,
and the outreach programs are trying, but the funding just isn't there. There's so many programs that are closed nowadays. It's ridiculous.
Right.
They give us options. They're supposed to give us options when they tell people to move. The last options they were given when just across the street they moved about 25 people.
Yeah.
We were told that there would be options for those people. Those options weren't given. Or the options that were given were a tiny home village in Fife that was closed.
Yeah.
And the hotel program in Puyallup, which was there's a wait list. As of Thanksgiving, I got into that hotel program. So I'm really no longer homeless, as you would say, but I'm down here every day with my people, trying to help out and do what I can.
It's a sense of community. It really is. It's a sense of community that you learn, and it's kind of hard to let go.
It is. You get to be real close with people.
Right.
Just like in normal society, as I would call it. You get people that coworkers or friends, neighbors, whatnot. And it's the same thing here. We're not all bad people.
No, not at all.
We just made bad decisions in life. But,
yeah.
A lot of it tends to. I think a lot of the problem is people look down on us because we've been the dredges of society since society began. The thieves, the hookers, the bad, and just all the bad. You read about it in the Bible.
Right.
It's not true. It's, a lot of us are. I mean, granted, there are your bad apples. There's bad apples in every group. You just got to try to weed those out. But unfortunately, everybody looks at the bad and not the good.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. It takes a lot for people to kind of focus on, the idea of humanity instead of the idea of what they may think humanity has become.
Right.
And you know what I'm saying? And when it pertains to Jesus, in the Bible, he was an advocate for all of that shit.
Jesus was a nomad.
He was.
Christians are the hardest on the homeless and people out there that believe in whatever their beliefs are, if it's God and the Bible. A lot of those people are the hardest on the homeless, but they forget that Jesus was a nomad. He was technically homeless.
He was a homeless. In my head, I think of it like the same. I think of it like he was. There's this punk rock song that I love.
Right.
I can't remember what the fucking name of it is. But it's by Pat the Bunny, and there's one verse in it, and he says, I'm starting to love Jesus, because Jesus, he was a dirty homeless who hung out with the somethings and anarchists. He was talking about how Jesus was hanging out with the people that they would have then considered at that point in time the downtrodden in society. Right? And right now, what I think is going on is we have this kind of great awakening going on, and it's very much so important to realize brothers, mothers, and sisters, right? But the thing is that we are all brothers, mothers, and sisters. We are all of the same blood. I bleed red. You bleed red. Anybody out there bleeds red.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And people are beginning to forget about the fact that we all bleed red.
People forgot a long time ago.
Right. You're right. They did forget.
That's my opinion.
They did forget a long time ago. I don't know, man. I think with the last little bit of shit with the COVID and everything that has happened back in just in the past 2 years.
The forced vaccinations.
All the shit. I've really felt like it was Like we're having a great reset kind of going on right now, and they're really much so trying to not only kill off everyone else, the middle class. They're trying to get rid of the middle class entirely. The elites are trying to get rid of the middle class, and I kind of see some things that I may believe to myself, honestly, that kind of bleeds through with them trying to fuck with everyone else too. Like not only the middle class, but the homeless.
Oh, what better group to start getting rid of people than the homeless? Because a lot of us don't have family,
right,
or friends, or people that would even think twice about if we were gone or not. You know, there was when I first moved in here about a year and a half ago, there was a body found about 100 yards down the tracks. The guy was beaten to death. And the police came and they asked a few questions. Nobody knew anything, and that was it. So that was it. That was done. They're just done with it. There was no investigation. There was no anything done. Happens a lot. There's homeless people. People die out here all the time. And
they don't do anything about it.
They don't. Well, I mean, really, kind of in their aspect. Well, what can they do if there's no family? Why bother? Why spend the man hours? I guess, and it's a horrible thing to have to say because that was a living human being,
right?
But at the same time, why investigate if there's no question or no family, or they don't care.
Yeah,
it's pretty cold. Overdose phone calls to 911 take 8 to 10 minutes. When there was a stabbing out here a couple months back in the summertime, when that response was 3 minutes tops, 2 minutes. I see it all the time. It's sad. It really is sad. There's a huge epidemic with the fentanyl going around. I'm glad I never got into opiates.
Me too.
I'll never understand that sickness that draws people to do whatever they have to do to get well, as they call it.
Right.
More often than not, I hear people, when they were doing heroin, heroin was big. It was, I got to go get high, and then within 2 or 3 weeks, I got to get well, so I can go get high. It's a double-edged sword,
Yes. Yeah, because you only get fucking high first couple of times.
Right, and then it's I got to get well, then you're sick before you know it.
Jesus, Murphy.
It's bad, and now this fentanyl thing, I hear more often than not, people that were doing the heroin are now saying, well, at least I'm not shooting up heroin anymore, I'm smoking pills. Well, and I've seen that withdraw. I've been in jail and seen people coming down off that stuff. Man, wow. No, it's not.
It's not good.
Not at all.
It's not good at all.
But they're saturating the country with it. I mean, it's not just the homeless that are doing it. It's doctors and lawyers and police officers. They're in their closet.
It's a worldwide epidemic. I guess I can't really say worldwide. It's a nationwide epidemic.
Oh yes, definitely.
It's getting definitely. For what I think, this is Beau speaking, the conspiracy theorist in the room.
Oh,
but
there's 2 of us.
There's 2 of us. Yeah, buddy. There you go. Okay, but anywho, this is both of us speaking. No, this is Beau speaking. But I believe that the fentanyl is being shipped in through a dock in China. Like, not a dock in China, it's a dock in California that China owns, right?
Let me interject. With everything that's going on in the world, with China and South Korea and North Korea and Russia and Ukraine and all that turmoil over on that side, and us wanting to step in and bully, if you look at it this way, as a conspiracy, here's my conspiracy theory, what better way to take over a country than saturate those people with a drug or something that will make them incapacitated?
Correct.
If they don't get it. And if if they do get it and they come off of it, they're like zombies. It's like they're zombies anyway. What better way to take over a country than saturate that country with that drug, stop it, take it away, and just walk right in?
You're right.
Step right over everybody because everybody's so freaking sick they can't do anything about it. Because when people come off fentanyl, it's bad.
Yeah.
It's bad. It's wow.
Okie dokie.
Lunchbox.
What?
So, the last time that we were talking, the video and everything, the audio, it all cut out right in the middle of what we were talking about.
Yeah.
I think the last thing that we were talking about is we're going in a little bit about the assistance programs and what was available for the people, the campers that were out in the streets.
Nothing.
Elaborate, please.
Yes, sir. There really isn't anything available right now. All the beds are full. They're not opening any new beds. From what I understand, most of the programs are full, and they're not taking anybody. There's waiting lists on several of them. It's really bad right now. It's the middle of winter. They're kicking people out of their camps in the middle of winter. Where are they going to go? All of these cities around us have instituted their anti-camping ordinances and are enforcing them, which is fine. I mean, they have a right to do that. But when it comes down to humanity and people being human, why would you wait till the middle of winter, in one of the coldest winters we're having in recent times, and then move people when you had the summer that you knew about it? It's people are getting sick and people are dying. Really, when it comes down to it, people are freezing and dying.
Do you think that this might like the fact that they're deciding that they're going to do this shit right at that point in time when the winters are getting really cold, when the times are getting really tough? Do you think that might have anything to do with any kind of depopulation agenda?
That's a big conspiracy. Yes and no. As far as depopulation, no. I think what it boils down to is nobody wants to see the homeless. Here, like in this area, I can't say no, yes or no for any other areas. I've heard things. I've heard different conspiracies. I've seen things. I definitely think that there's something going on. Yeah. As for our area here, no. I think it's just that people don't want to see homeless. They don't want to realize that the homeless actually exist because they don't want to deal with the problem.
Right.
The funding's there. It's just not being utilized. I personally think it's there. I know it's there. It's just not being utilized the way it needs to be.
I mean, they're sending so much money to Ukraine.
Yeah.
You could think that maybe with the tens of billions of dollars that they're sending out to a foreign country, that maybe they could dissipate a little bit of that wealth into our own.
I think they need to focus on home before they focus anywhere else. They're giving illegal aliens money and college funds and, jobs, while we've got people out here freezing and dying that are Americans.
Right.
That are not illegal aliens or card holders. I'm all for somebody coming in and jumping through the hoops that they need to become a U.S. citizen. I get that. But allowing somebody to come through and not be a natural citizen or hold an alien card, and just give them money and give them a place to live when we've got people out here on the streets. We have veterans that have fought wars for our right to be here free on the streets, dying while we're feeding other people from other countries. Let their country handle them.
I agree.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. I agree wholeheartedly, brother. I agree wholeheartedly. I mean, honestly, I don't think that any of that money that is being sent to Ukraine is going anywhere that helps anything. I think it's probably going right back into Biden's pocket. But that's a conversation for another day.
Right.
Because we're here talking about the face of homelessness. We're trying to talk about this shit more so instead of politics. But most conversations that I do have always kind of bleed into politics.
Well, it's all when it all rolls into it together.
Yeah, it really does. So another thing too, when we're talking about funding with programs and stuff, we see an uprise in harm reduction centers, right? Mm-hmm. And we have government funding that's going to the production of syringes, the production of cook spoons, the production of Narcan is a very good thing to give out.
Yeah.
Narcan's a very good thing to give out. One thing that I have a problem with, one thing that I don't think is right, is that you can go to a harm reduction center and you can get everything that you need to kill yourself. However, when you ask them if they have any resources for you to get clean, they have nothing. And they say it has to do with funding. They say, oh, we can't fund it. We don't have the resources to do that right now. However, if you don't have the resources to do that, I never thought in my life that I would ever see government-produced cook spoons. Those have to be made somewhere. Those are being there's a production for that. That is being produced somewhere. Okay. Obviously, it is being funded by the government because it's being given out by the government.
Right.
So, in my opinion, if we have the funding to produce a bunch of fucking cook spoons, and a bunch of syringes and a bunch of cottons and a bunch of salines and a bunch of tie-offs and all the shit that people need to go kill themselves, I think that we should have the funding for people to get clean.
I agree to a point. Yes, I think the funding for people to get clean is there. It's just the want for people to get clean. If a person wants to get clean, they're going to seek it out. Or if the outreach teams come through and hand you a card, they're going to want to do that. More so, more often than not, they don't want to get the help. They want to stay in their misery, or they want to stay in their addiction, which brings the harm, the needle exchange people, is what we call them out here. I personally believe it saves a lot of diseases. Sure, somebody's going to kill themselves. They're going to do it. They're going to do it anyway. What's the difference between if you're going to get a free needle or go to the pharmacy and buy one? You're going to get it anyway. So they're going to die. They're going to die. They're going to do it on their own. I agree with the needle exchange because, like I said, it cuts back on disease spreading. It helps more than it hinders. You know, people aren't stealing it. They're not. I mean, they're exchanging it. In this area, I know. All our people, or all the people out here that do shoot up, they save their clean or their dirties and they turn them in instead of throwing them out in the woods. Or I mean, granted, you'll see them here and there, but for the most part, in this area, from what I've seen, there aren't a bunch of needles laying around and dirty syringes and cookers and salines and all that. It's pretty well policed out here.
Right.
And the needle exchange people push that. Hey, like if you give a certain amount of dirties, they'll give you a certain amount of cleans back, which gives people incentive to not leave their shit laying around everywhere.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
The funding, yeah. I mean, yeah. I agree. I think that they should keep funding that, even if it keeps me on the street a little bit longer. It helps. It really does.
I just wish for more resources, like for
we all do.
You know what I'm saying? I just wish for more, because I personally have gone to needle exchanges,
right?
And I've done the whole fucking shebang, dog. I've gone there. I got my shit and then I've asked them. They don't have anything.
And
that's just part of me.
They're on the opposite end of it.
as being like somebody that I don't know.
I don't shoot up. Personally, I've never done it, and I won't. Needles, I have a phobia.
I agree. I understand that.
That doesn't mean I look down on people that do. Everybody has that's somebody's way to a means, and whatever. The needle exchange people are on the opposite end, I believe, of the spectrum when it comes to asking for resources for being clean. They're there to help people. Health-wise,
I understand.
With regards to the needles and the cookers and all that.
I understand.
I know that a lot of them don't have that stuff. You would have to go to like Greater Lakes or one of the outreach places in the area, and they'll have a lot more resources. I'm lucky that one of the counselors or one of the outreach people from Greater Lakes is a very close friend of mine from like elementary school. Mm-hmm. And she's very Johnny on the spot. Could you say if somebody wants to get into treatment, they're serious.
Yeah.
I call her up and get them in touch with her. They'll come down. They do an evaluation within a week, and within usually 2 weeks they're gone into treatment.
That's good. That makes me feel a little bit better about because I'm pretty black-pilled when it comes to when I'm thinking about how the government is taking care of our people on the streets.
They're not.
Oh, okay.
At the same time,
black pill dosed.
They do a census every year or every couple of years with the homeless. Well, they'll come through to all the camps and they mark down how many homeless there are and talk to them for a minute. And that's supposed to be so that the government knows how much funding to give each city or each county towards their homeless population and the issue. I think it's a horrible way to do it, but I can't think of any other way really to get anything close. The homeless are very sketchy. They don't want to deal a lot with outreach people or, because the outreach people bring police bring jail,
Yes.
So who wants to make sure they get counted to get money thro're never going to see because they just got their ass thrown in jail for getting counted?
Yeah.
I mean, but I mean, I can't think of another way to do it, really. I don't know the numbers. I don't know how to run the numbers like these guys do. It's sad.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people out here that need the help, and if they just have the opportunity, I think they take it. But like I said, with the outreach people comes the police, and nobody wants to talk to the police out here.
Yeah. I'm gonna pause and then we'll start again. Yeah, with police comes most times bad things. You get the police, you get the Department of Transportation, you get people coming in tearing camps up. And that's yeah, I think that's a really big thing that a lot of people, a lot of the general population really doesn't understand, is that you could have, like, I mean, for me personally, like, when I first was kind of out on the streets and shit, like, I had everything that I had, you know, and that's like I took a lot of my sentimental stuff that I had from being a kid, whatever, and within half a year, you know, everything was gone. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's really hard to maintain any type of, for me at least, normality. I don't know what the word is.
I lost all my sentimental stuff years ago.
Right.
And it sucks. It really does. But in the long run, you can't take it with you when you die. Memories are memories. Like, I had some pictures of my real father. He passed away when I was 2. The Puyallup Police Department destroyed camps. They told us we could step out of the area. They were just going to be there to clean up the garbage, and then we could all go back. When we all went back, they had destroyed all the tents. They had taken everything down. They were throwing it in trash bins, and we weren't allowed to go back. I had some of the only hard copies of my real father's pictures, and some other, you know, sentimental things that were all trashed, gone, done. It hurts, but like I said, I came to the realization at that point, I can't take it with me when I'm dead, and really, when a person's gone, when a person passes, they're gone, but they're not really truly gone until you stop talking about them and remembering them and telling stories. It's at that time when you stop doing that, or you stop remembering the good times you had with that person, is when a person truly dies. You know, that's just my personal opinion. As long as people are still telling stories, then that person's just as alive as you or I.
Yeah, we live on through the legacy that we make.
Right, 100%. It's tough to fathom. It's a rough one. There's a lot of death that goes on out here. A lot of people. You get close to people. People overdose. People freeze to death, or hit by a car, or beat to death, or stabbed, or murdered. It's really bad, man. I've dealt with a lot of death since I've been homeless in my 10 years. It's a whole other subject, man, because I got tired of going to funerals and memorials for my friends.
Right.
It gets old.
Yeah.
There was a time where I lost right around 32 friends in about 47, 48 months, so that's almost a friend a month for 3 years on average, you know, if you average it out. I'm just tired of going to memorials. I just don't do it anymore. I'll say goodbye to my friends in my own way. You know?
That's not something that a lot of people have to deal with.
No, it's not.
It's not something that a lot of people have to deal with. And like, God, dude, speaking like of overdoses, the overdoses lately have been outrageous, fucking through the roof. Nothing like we have ever seen before in America. We have a fucking problem going on, boys. Like, there's a problem going on.
You're telling me something I don't already know.
You know, no, I'm telling them something they don't already know.
They know.
They know. Yeah,
you see it in the papers, you read about it, you hear about it, but until you've actually lived it, it's a different story.
You could hear about it, you could see about it, but if you get, like, do you care about it? You know, you know, I'm like, obviously you do. Obviously you do. But I'm talking like GP type status.
A lot of GP don't care, because to them, the people that die of overdoses are junkies and thieves and this and that. But you have to remember at the same time, we're not all bad people out here.
It's extremely unfair to think that everybody that is out in a situation like this is.
There's just as many junkies out here on the street as there are the general population. It's just they're behind closed doors and in a closet. That's my opinion.
Dude, it's fucking... Y'all would be so surprised how many motherfuckers smoke meth. Y'all be so surprised how many motherfuckers smoke meth.
I'd like to see the results of just a random pop-in drug test for the government.
Literally.
Go down to Tacoma City building and drug test everybody now.
Yeah, literally. They'd all
And
fucking
see-
pop.
and
They'd
see how
all
many of them pop.
They'd be popping for all sorts of shit, dude. They'd be popping for all sorts of shit, dude. Like these politicians, bro. They're like the drugs.
I've been at years ago. I was staying at a dealer friend of mine's house. It wasn't a trap house. It was actually a nice, decent place. And you would have been amazed as to how many county, city officials actually came through quietly on the down low late at night and got their whatever their drug of choice was at the time. It floored me the first month I was there. I was like, I can't believe this shit.
Right.
And then you go in front of a judge that you've seen in that spot, and I'm on, I got myself in trouble, and I'm looking at that guy, and I'm just thinking, wow, how hypocritical is this?
Literally.
How hypocritical is this? But you can't do or say anything about it because, number one, they're never going to believe you, and number two, they're going to crack you off anyway. It's funny. But
Dirty dogs, man.
9 times out of 10, a lot of the people that are chastising and putting people down are just right there with you. They're just in the closet and are too good for... feel that they're too good for. I'm not that person. I can maintain a job. Well, guess what, guys? It always gets you in the end.
It always gets you.
No matter
in.
how long, it'll get you every time.
I think that it's different though for like the higher ups because they never ever experience a point in time in which they start fiending.
Oh, but they will. It'll get them in the. I'm telling you right now, it takes everything. It'll take everything. And people say, oh, well, I mean, I'm a working, functioning addict. And, well, guess what? For now.
You could be Chris Farley.
Maybe tomorrow.
On motherfucking, what's that shit called? What was
Saturday
Chris
Night Live?
Saturday Night Live. You could be Chris Farley on Saturday Night Live, coked out of your fucking mind, running up on stage, flapping your titties all around, screaming about shit, and then you're going to die of a heart attack because that shit and it's going to kill you.
You never know.
You never fucking know.
Tomorrow's never promised.
It's never promised. And I mean, just in like everyday life is a gamble. Everyday life is a gamble. It could be.
Sorry, that's funny to me.
It could be,
No, I mean, if you're general public, every life is a gamble. Odds go up exponentially when you become homeless.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, but
that's what I'm saying. It goes up exponentially.
Never in my entire life did I ever think that I would be sitting on a Christmas in a camp around a campfire with friends. None of us have anything, but we all have each other. Smoking meth, drinking beer, whatever their drug of choice was, just drown the pain of whatever it is got us here. It's crazy. And I'm not talking like this to get people to feel sorry for me or anybody else. Because me personally, I put myself here. Nobody put a pipe to my mouth and said, here, hit this. Nobody forced the shit on me. I chose to try it myself. So in the long run, my actions made me homeless. And, I know that. It's a long, hard road to get out once you're here. It's a deep hole once you're here. But given enough gumption, I guess, or if you want out bad enough, you can get out. Even though I've dug myself a deep hole, I'm working my way out just one shovelful at a time. I got friends out here that I care for. They're family. They become family. We all become family in one way, shape, or form.
Right.
And there's a camaraderie, and when it's your time to go, it's like move out or they move you out. Like I got put into the hotel program just before Thanksgiving. I still come out here every day. My friends are here, and it's helping me by coming out here and still going back. It's helping me transition a little bit better,
right?
Than just leaving and leaving all these guys alone. I feel guilty in a way.
You almost get a little institutionalized to homelessness.
Yeah.
They
consider it a disease. Like you can get SSI for being homeless because of PTSD or other things. From what I understand, I can see that 100%. like we were talking about earlier, all the deaths and all the stuff that comes along with being homeless. I mean, it's just like homesteading back in the days. It's kind of how I look at it. You have a great summer, but you know it's summertime. You have to remember you need to prepare yourself for what's going to happen this winter. Be it gathering propane or firewood or clothes, food stores, whatever. Granted, if anybody that I've been around in my area, if any of us ran out of anything, you could just go to the next person and say, hey, can you spare some food or some water or clothing? Nobody out here in this area is going to deny you of that. Not one bit. Yeah, drugs, that's a different matter.
Yeah, I know.
But as far as being a family and the camaraderie, nobody in this area is going to let another person freeze or be cold or, hungry. It just doesn't happen. Which is lucky. I've seen other places. I've been all over the world before I became homeless. I've traveled a lot, and I've seen ghettos, and I've seen, different countries and what it looks like to be homeless in that area. Just driving through, it's bad, man. If we think this is bad, try being homeless in Puerto Rico or in a ghetto there. I mean, I only spent like 15 hours there, and to get from the port to downtown, you have to go through, the different neighborhoods, and by God, I think we have it pretty good here.
Comparatively, right?
Yeah, comparatively speaking, yeah.
Comparatively.
I just wish the government would do more.
As do I, man. And that's honestly like, with this, I'm just hoping to kind of open the eyes up to some people. And I mean, I don't really know if I believe in voting, but if it did work, I would hope that people would fucking vote for, less camping bans and less anti-homeless laws and less different types of, just what they try to do with our infrastructure, the shit that they're doing with like the benches and whatnot, and everything that's just all anti-homeless. Like, I just want to see if I could fucking maybe do a little part in steering people's opinions a little bit.
I'm glad to help.
As
much as I can. Putting a face and a name to homelessness. You don't see it a lot unless somebody dies or it's the Christmas time. Right around the Christmas holiday season, everybody wants to ramp up about, the homeless this, the homeless that. Well, we're here all year round, guys.
Right.
And like I said, we're not all bad people. We're not all thieves. We're not all fucking hookers or, it's sometimes things in life happen. And they're non-discriminate. It can happen at any time.
Yeah, anybody could end up in this position.
Like I said, 90% of people out there in the GP or the real world are about a paycheck away from where we are. So chastising and talk down to us all you want. We're still going to be the first ones to offer you a coat if you're cold or food if you're hungry.
It's true. It's true, man. Fuck yeah. Well, Lunchbox, thank you for talking to me again.
No problem,
dude.
man. Thank you, bro.
Thanks, buddy.
Yep, anytime.
All right, man.
Talk to you soon.
All right, this is another part of the Face of Homelessness. We're now talking to Nick. Nick, how are you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm doing dandy, bro. You're a veteran.
Yes, I am.
You are. Fucking A. So, I know, I'll be saying, like, I want to talk about a bunch of shit, but then when the camera's rolling, I'm like...
Stage fright.
Yeah, it's what happens. Stage fright, it does. But anywho, bro, how are you doing tonight?
Good, yeah. I'm doing alright. Another day living.
How are things out here, bro?
How are things out here? Well, right now they're good. But 10 minutes from now, it could change. You never know out here. That's what's crazy about it. It's like living on the edge, kind of.
Right.
You never know what's going to happen.
It's a fast life.
Yeah.
Live fast, die young, Gigi Allen type shit.
I don't know. But probably.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would want to die young.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to die young either, but that was just a quote from fucking Gigi. His tattoo on his arm. It was fucking live fast, die young with a little gravestone. Yeah. That guy's a piece of shit. He really is. Gigi Allen's a piece of shit.
But we're taking clothes off his shoulder.
Yeah, right.
What a piece of shit.
Fuck, dude. Bro, the sense of community down here, like, how's that? The sense of community, like, there is a sense of community. People are taking care of each other.
Yeah. It's, it's the way that I can best describe it would be like, back in the 50s and the 40s, people used to take care of each other, when you said community, it meant the whole fucking town.
It's camaraderie.
Yeah. Same with fucking being in the military, man. Fucking, in the military we were a community because we were brothers, we all went through the same things for each other, that's kind of like the same thing here. Being homeless, fucking, we're all going through it, in one way or another. Some we're all here for different reasons, and what brought us here. But we all go through basically the same issues, and so we help each other. And it's some people sometimes have bad days. Some people have good days and help bring other people up.
Yeah.
So it's all a matter of perspective. Yes.
Self-love is a really hard thing to acquire.
Self-love?
Self-love, just being like, okay, I'm not going to do this today because I care enough about myself to not do this today.
Yeah.
That's a very fucking hard thing to acquire. That's a very hard thing to master. And that's a big part of what I think of, like, when it comes down to homelessness in America. Like, a lot of people want to be like, oh yeah, you need to do this, 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 or this. But it's like, have you ever been put in the situation where you have been forced to do this, 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 or this, and you need to do that for your survival? And do you know how it feels to be able to make oneself do that for your survival? You know what I'm saying?
I'll tell you this, man. I'm probably happier out here with myself than most people are that have houses and live normal lives. And that's because every day I have to get up, I have to do something in order to improve me, improve my way of life.
Right.
And that's what I strive to do every day, and I try to help other people see that, this isn't like most people out there, that are driving around in their fancy cars or whatever. Like, we're in a 93 Geo Metro.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
All right,
and people are out there driving around in Infinities and Ferraris and just hating life because they have all these bills and all these stresses and shit, And
yeah.
Being here, you got stress, I don't know when the cops are gonna come kick us out, every day. It could be right now.
Anytime the DOT can come through.
Anytime, because they could come in, they could be like, hey, pack your shit, you gotta go.
And your whole structure, everything that you've been working for could be fucking
gone.
Gone.
I mean, I put a lot of work into that fucking little cabin that I got built for me and my girlfriend, So, and a lot of people are out here intense, and as some of us are lucky enough to have RVs,
right?
But a lot of us are just sleeping in our cars,
right.
If they're lucky enough to have a car. But
yeah.
There are a lot of people that are happier than people that have houses, 6-bedroom houses or 12, whatever, and
yeah,
it's crazy because you wouldn't think that, I wouldn't think that would be a real thing,
Breaking free from the system is a beautiful thing, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, breaking free from the system is a beautiful thing, and like, not having to answer to their bullshit, it's an awesome, it's a beautiful thing, dude. And part for me, like when I was going through what I was going through, more so than the drugs, more so than anything else, I was addicted to the lifestyle. I was addicted to the lifestyle, dude.
I know all about that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I was addicted to the turn and burn type lifestyle. Like, I wanted to fucking turn and burn all night long.
We don't try to burn
it. But you know what I'm saying, though, right? Like, I was addicted to the lifestyle. I was addicted to what I was doing. I was addicted to all the people that relied on me because of the fact that I had dope.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
what about that?
It was just like, it was a crazy thing, and like me becoming separate from that lifestyle has also been a crazy thing. Like it's been a wild adjustment. Like I don't want to be a product of capitalism. Like that's not what I want to be. I don't want to be a product of capitalism. Like I don't want to be another fucking Joe Schmo working my 9 to 5 every single day, which I am. I am a Joe Schmo that works my 9 to 5 every day.
Yeah, you're a normie now.
Yeah, I'm a normie now. Like straight up.
Is that crazy?
It's so crazy, dude. It's fucking crazy, and it trips me out, and it's like, it's hard to continue living a normal life when I know that there are very much so easier options.
Where does it lead it to?
It leads back to me, to how I feel now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because my friends are dying.
Yeah.
My friends are dying, you know? And my soul is dying. Like,
it's a really big fucking mental fuck.
it's a mental fuck, dude. It's not something that is easily taken in by the GP. Like, it's not something that most people could understand.
Well, here's the thing, man. Me and you kind of are, you know, we're kind of the same, because I can be selling one thing, but morally not wanting to sell the other.
Right.
And if I don't sell the other, then I don't sell the other.
Right.
Then the first thing.
Yep, exactly.
And the first thing supports me in my habit. And the second thing is all profit and pays for everything.
That's fucking exactly where I was, bro.
The second thing kills people.
Yes.
That's where the first thing just makes you stay up and think that everybody's after you.
Yep.
You know, so it's like, if I don't sell the second thing, then I can't support my first thing, and I don't make any money, and then where am I now?
It's a fucking cycle, dude. It's like it's a cycle of madness. It's a cycle of insanity, bro. And then when it comes down to it, though, bro, it all leads us down to the same fucking thing, dude. It takes us to death.
Yeah.
It takes us to death or craziness.
Or prison.
Or prison, insanity, rehab, maybe, if you're lucky.
Or if you want that,
yeah. I mean, even when I did, though, I was on the streets when I did want that. When I did want rehab, that wasn't fucking available to me.
Yeah.
I didn't get that available to me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I've never asked for rehab or help.
Well, try to, and they're gonna tell you to go get fucked. Like, literally, go try to ask for help. They will tell you to get fucked. They'll be like, all right, well, we need this, or this about blah 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 blah. It's fucked up, dude. It's so fucked up, dude. It is so fucked up.
I believe it.
It's hard, dude. And it's hard for our people out here, man. And it's hard for the people that do, like, we got harm reduction centers that want to be offering, like,
fucking
Seattle, yes, exactly.
Thanks, guys.
They want to give you the syringe, the cook spoon, the fucking tie off, everything that you need to kill yourself.
I'm pretty sure they even have the nurse to shoot you up.
The fucking Christ, dude. And but if you ask for resources to get better,
we don't know what that is.
We don't know what that is. We don't have the funding for that, bro.
What's that? No, we can give you everything else but that.
But that. I've never thought in my life that I would ever see government funding for government-produced cook spoons.
Yeah, tell me about it.
But it's real. That's real fucking life that's happening right now.
I'd say at least 65-75% of military veterans are drug addicts and homeless. And that's because of the stress and pressure that is put upon you during war, and seeing how we were just at war for 10 years.
You're right.
That's a lot of people. Okay, you gotta think how many people were in the military. Okay, how many people got out within that 10 years? Now take that number and go ahead and cut it in half. That's about how many people are homeless, veterans, and drug addicts now. So, and that's because of the stress. We're not taught. We're taught how to, how to do our jobs under pressure. You know, that's why I handle pressure so well. When things go down and I can.
Because you know how to handle like a violent situation.
Not only violence, but
high stress.
Yeah, in war,
Were you in active combat?
Yeah, I got shot over in Iraq. I was combat infantry.
Thank you for your service.
Yeah, man, no problem. It was fun.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy to say. It was fun, but yeah.
I mean, they program you to fucking feel that way.
Well, I mean, I've wanted to be a soldier since like I can remember. You know.
It's a noble endeavor.
Yeah, but it's not like it was back in the day. You know, where you get carry a sword in a battle and then baddest one wins. You know what I'm saying? No, it's carry a gun in the battle and hope don't get shot. Have fun.
Right.
And then, you know, with the way life is nowadays, you know, everything's desensitized to violence.
Right.
Man, I see some crazy shit over there. First time I ever got shot at, I almost died. It was crazy because I'm running upstairs right to the third floor, top of this little sand house.
In Iraq? Afghanistan?
No, in Iraq, yeah. Running up to this little fucking top floor because the best way to fucking secure the area is from the top down. And do Overwatch, you know, so you can watch down streets. You can see other top of the houses. You know, you can't get ambushed. Anything below you, you can shoot at. Anything above you, you know, there shouldn't be anything above you. And I'm running up, me and my buddy, one of my best friends, man, and I kick open the door and here's this dude with an AK-47 just like smiling, and like the only thing I could think of is drop, and I dropped to the ground. And this dude pulled the trigger, and I could hear the bullets just right above my head, hitting fucking rock or sand or whatever the hell it is. And like, scariest thing I've ever gone through. And dude emptied almost the whole clip, you know, whole 30 rounds into this fucking sand or house that I would have, you know, if I would have just stood.
He was trying to kill you.
Oh, it definitely was trying to kill me.
He was trying to kill you.
Absolutely, he was trying to kill me. And it scared the shit out of me. And I had a realization that I don't want to say I snapped, but like things in my head changed at that point in time, because you know I realized that I'm not going to get through this without getting shot at, without getting the potential of dying. And yeah, but lucky for my buddy that was literally right behind me, comes up, takes him out. Saved my life.
Fucking Christ.
Yeah, that was fun. That's before I even met you.
It's fucking Christ, dude.
Yeah. It's all good, bud.
I love you, man.
I love you too, buddy.
Thank you for your service.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, there's people, man, I've pulled people out of burning Humvees that lost their legs and shit, you know. I've got shot, man, because my dumbass fucking company commander took us down the wrong road. You know, got us into the wrong area. It's like gangland out there, you know.
Right.
We got tanks and Humvees and heavy machine guns, and these guys got RPGs and, you know, assault rifles and IEDs. You know, they're using pipe bombs to blow us up, you know.
Right.
And we're using big ass tanks to fucking stop that, but that's not working. So, I mean, next thing you know, we're getting shot at from above, around, everywhere. You see muzzle flashes in every window, and that's why when people out here, you know, they think it's a game, man, when shooting off guns and shit. But like,
I don't even fucking know. You don't even fucking know the half of it, dude. Like,
this one dude, man, fucking, he was leaving here, and I could hear him popping off 22 rounds. You know, like over there.
pea shooters.
And then fucking, he's leaving, he pulls out, he turns, and I can see him, like, pop something out the window and shoot towards me.
Like when that type of shit happens, it brings you back into that headspace, huh?
Yeah.
It brings you into that.
It brings me to the part where I can handle pressure and I can think clearly.
Where if you need to kill, you need to kill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to kill, but
like that.
I will definitely, you know, there is a good possibility that somebody might get shot back. You know.
Yeah.
Somebody shoots at somebody that's trained to handle things like that, and that's why people that come out of the military that are combat infantry make good officers, police officers, because they're not afraid to do what needs to be done if things go down towards that area, you know. because they've done it before. They've trained for it. You know, that's what the military does. They cheat you every day. They take you out, and they give you 1,000 rounds. You know, tell you where to shoot at it. The closer you get, the better it is. And man, I tell you what, at 30 rounds, I could put 29 of them in the right spot. So, I mean, they taught me very well.
Train to kill.
Yep, train to kill. And once you kill your first person, man, that's a whole different thing.
Have you?
What?
Got someone?
Yeah.
Is it hard to deal with?
At first.
Is it something that affects you now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every day. You will never forget.
No. And I wouldn't even try to fucking think that I could ever understand that type of thing in my head. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, especially over in Iraq, man. They do some fucked up things, but it's ideology.
Right.
It's not your job to go do this. In their eyes, it is their God-given right to defend their land, which it should be for everybody. You know, if there's an invading force,
they say to us too.
If there's an invading force or fucking something that's jeopardizing your way of life, it is your responsibility to take this into action and stop that.
God saves, homie.
Yeah.
God saves. I literally don't know what else to say besides that. But God saves, I guess.
You know, some people don't believe in God.
I'm not even sure if I believe in God.
I mean, I don't. You know, that's a whole different topic for a different time. Because I've seen some shit. If there was a God, I don't know how he could stand letting people do things like that. Yeah, I get the whole free will, you know, whatever. I understand that. I get that. And but these guys are, I mean,
demons among men.
Yeah, these guys are demons, if anything. You know how they say demons possess bodies?
Yeah.
Then that's exactly what people that I've seen. You know, not just over in Iraq, but over here too. Like, there's some fucked up people, dude. And I don't know what is wrong with people. Like, down at the port, there was this chick that got burned alive in an RV because she was stuck in a cage.
Jesus Christ. Fucking Christ, dude.
Could you imagine getting burned alive?
No, not fucking Christ.
Because you
dude.
can't get out? You know, and the funny thing, it's not even funny, it's the fucked up thing is, that dude that did it, everybody knows he did it. You know, but nothing's being done about it. Because we're homeless. No one gives a fuck. That's why people around here, you know, people take things into their own hands. You know, because something's got to be done for people like that. You know, like, she had kids.
Yeah, I know, brother. I know, brother.
And, like, you got to be a fucked up individual to put somebody in a cage and light your RV on fire.
Yeah. You do.
I mean, people tried to get her out, and they got the cats out.
Is that in Seattle?
No, it's down at the fort, right here in Tacoma. Yeah.
No fucking shit, dude.
Like, not even a month ago.
Fucking Christ. Yeah, shit's getting bad, boys. It's getting bad.
Not only that, there's a serial killer down in Tacoma.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's going around killing homeless women.
I've heard about him. I've heard about him.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard about him.
Even worse, the fucked up thing is the police know about it. Yeah, I mean, supposedly they're doing something about it. They haven't leaked it to the media. Well, if they have, the media's not producing it and telling everybody. You know, hey, there's this guy out there skinning females alive and murdering them and then leaving their fucking bodies. I mean, like,
next level shit, dude.
Yeah, this is like
Dexter style shit.
Yeah, none of that, like, Law and Order, you know,
Like literally.
Yeah, like, this is those kind of scenarios where these fucking people that write TV shows come up with shit.
Yeah.
And fucking, I've never had to deal with something like that.
No.
But I'll tell you what, I every chance I get, I teach my girl how to shoot. You know, I try to desensitize her to the gunshot going off.
Right.
You know, because that's the biggest.
I mean, it's a fucked reality, but
you gotta fucking arm yourself. You gotta be able to
take care.
Yeah.
Take your ears and
Because the cops ain't gonna fucking protect us.
They're not doing shit.
What are they gonna do? They're gonna take 20 minutes to get anywhere you're at. Even if your fucking house is on fire, 20 minutes later, your shit's gone. Alright, where's the fire department? Still not here.
Still not here.
I mean, DOT put these concrete blocks up, right? So why? So we can't have any more people come over? Man, people are still getting here. You can get in and out, no problem. But you can't get anything big in and out, such as a fire truck.
Right.
You know? So what happens to the fire truck when he can't figure out how to get in here? He turns around. Well, this is a busy ass road. He gets sideswiped by a semi truck or T-bone, you know, or people die because fucking somebody's watching over here and not paying attention to what they're doing and drives into a fucking another car.
Right.
You know, because DOT fucking put ecology blocks up so that they can't fucking put other people here. Like, why can't the city, state, county, whatever, come up with enough money, which I know they have? They got a whole fucking fund. It's a trust fund.
Yeah.
You know, and they spent $367 million on a freeway improvement project, but they can't go spend $350,000 on like a couple acres of land and put, you know, whoever wants to live there, go there. You got certain rules. Don't break them or you can't come back. You know?
Useful.
Like, how is that not a thing?
I don't know.
If you can spend $367 million to build a fucking freeway extension, but you can't spend, what, a tenth of that? Not even a tenth. It's like a thousandth. You know? I mean, that's how much money's going in the contractor's pocket. Because he overbidded it by like whatever amount. He's gonna go buy a new house over in fucking California.
Government jobs are the best ones, man. You fucking.
I mean, you know what they say, man. Fucking, if you got 5 guys in the union working, 4 guys are fucking on a coffee break.
That's right.
And the 5th guy's on a supervisor.
Yep.
So, and you know it's gonna take them years to do this project. Okay, so you got all these union dudes, because no one else can work for city, county, or state besides union. It's like in their contracts or something. And you guys can't get that shit done in a year, 2 years, whatever it takes, and you're going to be over budget. You're already at $367 million.
All right.
You know, and every I don't care what project it is, every project that has to do with government officials goes over budget by at least $10 million. Why is that?
Fucking underground bases, bro.
Take the military for example, right? You got a goddamn fucking toothbrush. It costs $10,000, and it's plastic. You don't do nothing special besides brush your teeth.
Yeah.
Why does it cost $10 million? A hammer costs fucking $1,000. Nail $500. Come on.
They're doing it on purpose.
Absolutely. It's all about money.
On purpose. It's all on purpose.
When I was in prison, DOC, like this, DOC was getting money from the state and paying themselves. Okay, so DOC is the Department of Corrections, part of the state. Okay, their funding, which just got cut down and reduced to almost like a third of what they were. They had to shut down units where, you know, they had rapists, child molesters, murderers, you know, all these other guys.
Mm-hmm.
Bad people, you know, like super bad people. And pretty much set them free, in a way. You know, you got lifers on McNeil Island living the life because they got their own apartments. And they're the highest level sex offenders you can find.
Yeah.
Like, these guys will rape a bunny, you know?
Yeah, they'll fuck anything, you know?
Yeah. And they're living the life on McNeil Island.
Yeah.
They got their own island in an apartment.
Yeah, it's fucking Epstein shit, bro. It's literally Epstein shit, bro.
And you're trying to fucking say that drug dealers are worse than child molesters, rapists, murderers, you know, and you're giving this guy that's just trying to make a life, you know, a living, you know, and you're giving him 9 to 10, or like 7.5 to 10 years for selling some drugs that they're just gonna get somewhere else.
Right.
You know, I mean, and you can't stop the drugs, man.
It's a slave system, bro.
It is.
It's literally a slave system. They want us all to.
They're all homeless, man, because fucking.
They want us all fucked, dude.
It's crazy.
I'm gonna cut this.
Edit.
I'm gonna go home at some point. So.
You look tired.
I am.
What are you doing in here?
Huh?
What are you doing right now? Why are you here?
I come down to talk to people, man. That's it.
I know, I'm just fucking with you.
I don't even do dope. I don't do nothing.
I know, that's good. I'm so proud of you. And being around people that do the things that you used to do. I'll tell you this right now from personal experience, man. I'll give you this. You have more self-control than I do.
Yeah.
How long have you been sober?
2 years.
24 months? You have a sponsor? Yeah, cold turkey without AA?
Yeah. I almost died. I got put in the hospital. My lungs got septic. I woke up, I didn't recognize my daughter.
Oh, no.
You know what I'm saying?
That's the girl that was in your backseat?
I didn't
That's the girl that was in your backseat a couple days ago?
Yeah.
How old is she?
She's 6 now.
Really? I got a 4-year-old.
Yeah, she's 6 now. This is my
Great,
life.
huh?
She's the light of my life, man.
Yeah, I miss my daughter.
I didn't recognize her, so, you know.
Man, my daughter's 4 years old. Do you know how many times, or like how long she's known me?
How long?
About 6 months.
I'm sorry.
No, it's not. You know, it's not her fault, man. It's mine. And if there was anything I could do in this world to go back 4 years ago and change what I was doing and do what you do, you know, be able to just stop. Because I had an option. I was asking myself, like, what do I do? Do I stay on 512 and go home? Do I get off 512 and go sell a sack, make $70, and then go home? Do I not go home at all? I chose wrong, man. I chose to go get the money over everything else.
Every day is a choice, friend. Every day is a choice.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Just like this time, man. I was almost 4 years sober.
And you can be that again, Nick.
Oh, yeah, I know. If I wanted to be. I'm not ready.
I know it.
I mean, I'm getting close to that point, but I can't leave the ones I love.
I know.
I'm too low for that.
It's the hardest part of getting sober when you're a camper. It's like you can't leave your homies.
I can't leave my girl.
Yeah. But
if I was to go get sober, granted, I would get sober for my daughter, but it would be the hardest decision I would have ever made because I love my girlfriend.
Right.
You know, and she may fucking drive me to fucking crazy, but I love her. You know, she's always there, man. She's loyal too. She's with it. When we first started coming down here, dude, bitches were they were trifling. Like, they were out of pocket. she put every single one of them in check.
Nice.
Yeah, she's like, no, fuck you. You ain't doing that
Nice.
shit.
Nice. Hell yeah, dude.
She beat 3 bitches up. Bitches won't even talk to me anymore. Because fucking just wants to fucking.
They're scared, bro.
They are hell scared. It's funny.
That's fucking awesome.
And fucking fucking if a bitch is fucking acting out of pocket because that's what they do, she is more than willing to be like, look, bitch, no. And
that's a good one, bro.
It's
you gotta keep that. That's a good one to keep.
Yeah.
I'm cutting this interview off now because
I was in my head and already pressed fucking.
All right, brother. My name's Beau. This is the first time I've ever met you, but my name's Beau, and like I said, I was doing this shit with it's called The Face of Homelessness, and it's my internet show basically. I used to be on the streets. I used to be doing the shit. I released my podcast over Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, BitChute, Rumble, all this type of shit. Basically, I'm just here trying to talk to people that are experiencing the shit firsthand. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel you, man.
So, anything that you would be willing to tell me, brother, like, anything about your life, anything about your story, anything about like, what, if I could ask you one question, what are the resources available to the homeless? Like, are there many resources available?
I mean, what I've utilized around here was New Hope Center down the hill from where we're at right now. They give, free lunches. They help you with, you can call like 211 or something like that.
Yeah.
In Catholic Community Services, I know I've heard of them, but other than that, I don't know much of anything, I just became homeless, I don't know, probably about a week now.
Yeah.
Actually, like, homeless, like, I living out of a tent or, on the streets. I've lived in the garage for the past 3 years, 4 years, but it's just hard, man. It's difficult.
It is.
A
lot of people don't recognize that. They don't recognize that, and they don't want to put any type of effort to making anything better for anybody else. We got a lot of bougie motherfuckers that want to be walking around shit, acting in any way that they want to act. Like, myself, walking down the street, doing whatever I'm doing, someone clenched their motherfucking purse when I walk by. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I already know. I got profiled 3 times today just walking through the store.
You were saying that. Go into that.
Yeah, it's 3. I've never had to deal with that. When you walk into a store, I would say, I was talking about Walmart, Hobby Lobby, and Ross. Immediately when you walk in, they get on their little phones or intercoms and tell, hey, backpack, hat, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like you're instantly like pointed out of everybody that's in that store to watch for stealing or watch for for something. And immediately I'm just like, fuck this store, I'm out, Yeah. And I'm on to do my next things or whatever but it's funny, it's like I have money, I have something in my pocket just because I may not have the nicest clothes or, look the best, smell the best. Doesn't mean I'm going to steal your shit, But I'll tell you, right now, it makes me want to go and steal their shit now.
Fucking right.
Just because of that situation.
Fucking right. Fucking right, dude.
Fuck that, man. It's like, they make you just feel lower than low, even though you're already in a fucked up time and place in your life. When you see shit like that, it like makes you just feel like, fuck you, okay, now I'm going to rebel.
I agree.
So
I've been there too, brother. I've been there too.
Shit, man.
It's been some shit, man. I get that.
It's a whole different world, man. Being in the streets, It's
a lot of people don't understand that.
They don't.
They don't understand that.
They don't know both sides of the fence.
A lot of people, dude. Like, it would be to the point, like if we had motherfuckers out in Capitol Hill, motherfuckers out in Bellevue, if they got put in any type of situation that a lot of our people are out in this type of situation, they'd die. They fucking die. They'd fucking die instantly, bro. They don't have their space heaters. They don't have their fucking. They don't have the shit that they normally have every single fucking day.
Nope.
They'd fucking die.
Yeah.
So the fact that people can survive out on the streets, and the fact that people can survive out in tents on the side of 512, and everything that they fucking do it's a commendable fact, and it's something that a lot of people, I think, pretty soon are going to have to learn how to do.
It is, but I'm hearing, right now, it's like the city of Puyallup has made camping illegal, you know, in the city limits, and now they're trying to make being homeless illegal, basically. Yes. And it's like that's bullshit. And they're trying to funnel everybody to Tacoma. Tacoma doesn't have the resources to be able to handle as many people as they're trying to push there.
The police cannot fucking handle.
It's gonna turn into mayhem.
The amount of people that are
you know, straight mayhem.
It's gonna turn into anarchy, bro.
When they
it's gonna turn into anarchy, bro.
It's gonna turn into something that I truly don't want to be anywhere near. You know, I'd rather be out in the woods doing something like this, chilling, fucking with good people that are actually, everyone in here is good people.
Right.
You know, they're not.
And that's what motherfuckers don't realize.
No, they don't.
That's what motherfuckers don't realize.
They really don't.
And that's what fucking pisses me off.
Yeah.
And that's my whole fucking point in doing this, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I got so many fucking friends, bro. I was just at the Fife encampments, bro. On my way to the gas station where I met you. I was coming from the Fife encampments, done already interviewing people. You know what I'm saying? Talking to people, talking to my fucking friends.
Every city, there's more homeless than you know.
There's more homeless than anybody knows.
You walk in the store, 3/4 of the store is homeless.
It's insane.
Thank you.
It's fucking insane, dude. But what if you're comfortable with talking about it?
Yeah, man.
What happened and why are you where you're at now, man?
So. Basically, man, I'll start from the beginning. 2018, I was given, basically issued, I got in trouble. I received a domestic violence, with an assault too. I went to court and I got sentenced. Basically, 2 days before I'm about to go to court, my mother, who was going to help me with my rent and stuff, said no, she's not going to help me anymore. And it basically caused me to fall into eviction. And instead of going into eviction, I chose to try to get help with that instead of go to jail. And so I went out on the run, got picked up in November. And I ended up winning my eviction, but I ended up catching another 4 months on top of what I was already supposed to do.
Yeah.
So it basically counteracted my eviction, because when I lost my home, and I came out to only having a car. Yeah. Eventually my car broke down, and I was now on foot.
Really weird.
And so I had a friend that let me stay in the garage for a while. But then eventually he kicked me out, you know, so now I'm here living on the streets, and I'll tell you right now, I'm 37 years old. I've never been homeless my entire life. This is an eye-opener, and it's harder than hard to live like this every day. You know, it's stressful, it takes a toll. But you do meet amazing people. You do meet some people that really are genuinely become good friends, and they become good people, you know, that are willing to look out for you and help you through times that are tough, you know.
There's a sense of camaraderie when in the encampments and like with the people that you meet. I've experienced that too. Like some of the best people that I've ever met in my entire life, I've met during my active addiction, during the time that I was on the streets.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Some of the most realest people, some of the most best conversations that I've ever had with anybody, it was all during that time. And like, while I look back at that time as like it was a bad time in my life, I also look back at that time as it was like a learning experience, where now from the people that I've met, from the things that I've done, you know, from the situations that I've been in, I just learned how to be a better man from that now. You know?
Yeah. I can tell you one thing, I've grown from it.
Yeah.
I've grown a lot mentally and emotionally. You know, physically, you know, you walk a lot.
Yeah, that's true.
Especially when you got a car, you walk.
Shoelace Express, brother.
Man.
Lamborghinis.
Oh, bro.
Maser floppies.
That's the one thing I must say. If you are homeless, make sure you take care of your feet.
That's right.
That is the one thing you must take care of, your feet. Because if you don't take care of your feet, you're fucked.
You're straight fucked.
It ain't no joke, man.
No, I remember, dog, I had abscesses on my foot and shit, and I was wrapping my shit in fucking lidocaine patches, and then wrapping it in a plastic bag, and then putting a sack over it, and then I was walking around when I was like 16, 17 years old, man. And shit. Hey, man, thank you so much for talking to me, bro.
No problem,
Thanks
boss.
so much, homie.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, thank you so much. See you. Hi, my name's Beau.
I'm Jessica.
Nice to meet you, Jessica.
Nice to meet you.
Okay, so as I was just stating earlier, I'm sure you heard everything. But this is my podcast episode. My podcast is called AntiSlave Question Everything. But this episode segment is called The Face of Homelessness.
Okay.
And basically, I'm just here trying to talk to people that are experiencing, the downtrodden type shit of society. I would love to hear anything that you're willing to tell me.
Okay. I'm an open book.
Okay. What in your life, right? How'd you get to where you are now?
I was in a relationship for 10 years with my kid's dad, and that was domestic violence. And I got out of it, lived with my sister for a year, I got on my feet, and I got with another guy, and for 3 years that was a good relationship, and then he started beating me. I ended up getting beat with the bat for 10 hours, held hostage by him.
Sorry.
Yep. And I stayed with him, and we were homeless at that point. And then he left me, and I'm still here.
Yeah. Are there many resources available to you guys? Like when you're...
Not really. There's a shelter like he was talking about, and then they used to do freezing nights, but they stopped doing that. Salvation Army, you can go have lunch every day, Monday through Friday, and then you can get a box of food once a week. And that's pretty much it.
That's pretty... I mean, the Salvation... I never heard about that.
Really?
Like, when I was on the streets and shit, no, I was never... No. Is that like a semi... I mean, I guess... I don't know. It was a while ago, like I said, when I was... It's been about 2 years
actually
now.
just started doing it like a year ago.
Okay, so that's
Yeah, so
probably...
it's pretty new.
that's probably why I haven't ever fucking heard of it. But that's tight. I'm glad that the Salvation Army is doing that. That's fucking
they
tight.
rock. There's a
That's
motel
fucking
program,
tight.
too.
Yeah.
I've heard of... so another guy that I was interviewing, Lunchbox, is actually in the motel
Oh,
program.
yeah, I know Lunchbox.
Do you know Lunchbox?
I know Lunchbox.
Oh, are you fucking kidding me? I know Lunchbox?
Yeah.
That's my boy!
Yeah.
That's my boy, Lunchbox! He's on this podcast,
Yeah.
too! What the fuck? Okay, Lunchbox, the wheelchair Lunchbox?
Yep.
Yes!
Yep, I
That's
know.
my fucking boy!
Yeah.
That is so funny. Small fucking world, right? Holy
I
shit.
just met him a few months ago. My dog Journey was stolen from me because I said I needed a vibrator and a dog.
Women's best friend,
Yeah.
the two things right there, a vibrator and a dog.
'Cause every time
They'll
you
leave
get
you
with
for
a
that.
man-
You know, that's why I never got my girlfriend one.
A dog?
No, a vibrator.
Oh, yeah. Well, my vibrator got stolen from me, and then a good friend of mine for 2 years out of nowhere, never did me dirty or wrong, stole my dog. So
Fucking A, dude.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. That's shitty. That's shitty. Myself, I had my dog named Nyla, who was my baby, right?
Yeah.
All throughout the times that I was on the streets. And
Yeah.
she did. I would lay in her lap, or like, I don't know, she'd lay in my lap. Like, she was a big dog, you know, she was a Border Collie German Shepherd mix, so she was a big girl. And like, throughout the time that I was staying in my truck and shit, like, I didn't have to fucking throw the heat on, because I just throw that blanket on me and I'd lay on my dog, and she'd snuggle up. But after the time I had my daughter, my dog was so overprotective of me that my daughter would come crawling up and shit, and she'd bare teeth. I had to get rid of her. And that was the worst thing that honestly, that was probably one of the hardest things I've ever had to do in my life. So I feel for you there. When you lose your dog,
it's sad.
It's very
broke my
sad.
heart. I was really suicidal. I'd go into camps, and I'd start off stupid blonde, and then I worked my way right up to insane. And my goal was for someone to kill me, but I learned two things. If your crazy is bigger than somebody else's crazy, no matter how big they are, they will back down.
That's right.
Yeah.
You gotta bear those teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right.
But my dog's name was Journey, not because of the band, because I was going through a journey through life with him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So unfortunately, that got cut short.
I'm sorry.
But he was a pit bull, small husky. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was an awesome dog.
Fuck yeah, dude.
I got him when he was 5.5 weeks old, and he was 7 months when he stole from me.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
So basically, you had to go through a lot of bullshit. You had to go through a lot of abuse.
Yeah.
You went through a lot of shit when I mean, I'm sorry, but like, I think men need to take care of women.
Absolutely.
Like, that's just my opinion. I think that as a man, you need to take care of your woman. You know what I'm saying? So if a man, decided that they were gonna beat you, then I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just my personal opinion. I think that men are supposed to be protectors, and that's not saying that we're not equal, because we all bleed red. You know what I'm saying? We all bleed red. Like, we're all equal. We all bleed red, but there's still roles that need to be played. And you know, and a man should protect his woman no matter what. They shouldn't beat them up. They should definitely not do anything with a fucking bat for 10 hours. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm so sorry. That's fucked up. Honestly, that's crazy abuse. I've never experienced that type of shit. Like, I don't.
It's traumatizing, and it's confusing because you don't understand why somebody would do that to you. I was a loyal person to my man, treated them well, and I was a partner, you know, with them, and I don't know why he did that. To this day, he can't tell me why he did that.
Well, honestly, you're probably better off away from him.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Even if where you are at is right now, here, you're not getting your ass beat with a bat.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And anybody has the ability to get better.
Yeah.
Get clean, get anything.
Absolutely.
You could, anybody in this place could.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? God is on our side.
Yeah.
God loves you. God loves you. God loves you the way he loves me. God loves everybody in this tent.
Absolutely.
God loves all of us. You know what I'm saying? And I love you. And I just met you, but I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you, bro, that I've never met before or even talked to. And I love those two. I love all of you guys. You know what I'm saying? Because we're all God's children, and we're all here for a fucking reason, right? And it doesn't matter if we're the downtrodden of society, if we're doing this, or this, and these motherfuckers want to look down on us. We are all God's children. You're God's child. You're God's child. We're all God's children, right?
We're taking from ourselves.
Honestly, dude, addicts have beautiful minds. And the reason why addicts are addicts is because we think too much. We think way too much. Okay? We can't sit there and fucking go on with what the normies go on with, because we think way too much. Yep. And we're beautiful people. Every single fucking one of us. Every single one of you guys in this tent is a beautiful person, right? And I'd lay my life down on the line for every single one of you guys. Even though I don't know you, I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying?
I would too.
Yeah. Like, you guys are all beautiful people, man.
We're all worth it.
We're all worth it.
Yeah.
And there's nothing they can tell me otherwise. Like, I've lived the shit on the streets. I'm not scared to go into a tent with people that I don't know, because you know what I'm saying? Because I know people. Yeah. I know motherfuckers. I mean, I don't.
You get in the corner, you might get scared.
Huh? Well, I don't know. No, no. Anywho, thank you so much for talking with me. Thank you so much. I gotta go home and I need to go to sleep.
All right.
Because I have to go to work tomorrow.
Okay.
But thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you so much, homie.
Hey, no problem.
I appreciate it. Awesome.
What's up?
What's up with you, buddy?
Oh, nothing, buddy. I'm doing it all good.
Doing it all good, are you?
Doing it good, yes.
Fucking A. Okay, so this is the third time that we're talking with Lunchbox. It's pretty hard to get people to talk down here.
They spend a lot of time ducking and dodging authority, cameras, photographs. That's why your first time you came down here, I had to let everybody know. Right. In the different camps that there was going to be somebody down here filming, so that they could be gone if they wanted, or duck down, or just a lot of people don't want their faces on camera or anything like that.
I completely understand that.
Right.
I completely understand that.
Yep. Over here.
Sorry, I saw some. Yeah. I'm like a fucking. I get distracted.
So shiny.
Lunchbox.
Yes, sir.
I love you, man.
I love you too.
You're a good friend of mine.
I consider you a close friend as well.
So, I want to talk to you about your story, about your life. If that's okay with you.
That's fine.
Yeah?
Yeah. I don't mind.
I want to put a face, because everybody that is where they are now starts from somewhere.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I myself, personally, if I could just give a very light rundown of what I did, what my story is like, just because I asked you to tell your story, not trying to steal the spotlight, but just, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Come on now, baby.
There's no one story any better or worse than the other.
That's right.
How we live our lives.
I mean, the listeners know, they've heard from me before, but just because I asked you, I'm going to also say, for me personally, I was like 16 years old when I started using meth. And before that, I was using amphetamine pills, Adderall, Vyvanse. I got admitted into rehab at the age of 16. And when I was in rehab, they basically told me, hey, man, if you like this shit, you got to go try crystal. And then I left rehab, and that's exactly what I did. And then my life kind of went downhill from there. I got sick. I'm fine now.
Right.
But that's the basic rundown for me.
I have a question for you too.
What's that, buddy?
So you're clean and sober now.
Yes.
How has it been for you through all of these interviews and your time spent down here at the camps with your addictions?
Hard.
Has it been a struggle?
It's been hard.
I've tried to keep it away as best as possible from you when you ask if you're coming down.
Yeah.
Just because, I care about you. You're a friend.
Yeah.
It doesn't always happen that way because not everybody gets the word, but I can imagine it's been hard for you.
It has been.
I'm really proud of you for not. I wish there was somewhere else we could do the interviews that would have as much impact, I think, as being at a camp.
Right.
But I don't think it would have the impact it is.
I don't think it would have the impact either, Okay. And that's the very, very important part about going down to camp and being around that. And that's the thing about, like, for me, I'm strong, okay?
Yeah, but there's strong, and then there's just putting yourself up and setting yourself up for failure.
Right, but I'm not gonna fail. I'm not gonna fail. The whole shit that happened with me going to the hospital. I woke up. I didn't recognize who my daughter was, bro. That was my breaking point.
Moment, yeah.
That was my breaking point,
Sure.
my waking moment, where I was like, this isn't gonna happen anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So now when I go down in places and I see people that are using my DOC, it doesn't make me think I want to get high. Honestly, it makes me think I want to help these people not get high.
Well, yeah, that's commendable. It's just they have to want the help.
Right, and it's an uphill battle that you can't win.
Oh, it can be won. It just the person separate. Each individual has to realize when it's their time.
That's what I'm saying.
Or be ready to
Specifically
go.
for me, I cannot go out and expect that what I'm going to say to anybody is going to change their mind.
Right.
That's why I'm saying it's an uphill battle.
Right.
Not saying that it's an uphill battle that can't be won for the single person that is going through it.
Right.
But because for me personally, I can't take that onto myself. Like, I have to take on other people's sobriety because that's not anything that I could ever do. That's not, you can't be done.
Right.
So, yeah.
Okay. So, your life story, real quick. Is that what you wanted to do?
I already did it.
Oh, that was quick.
I already did it. It was a quick one. I just said, I started doing dope when I was 16. I stopped doing it after I went to the hospital. I mean, I was doing my shit for the time that I was doing my shit, and then, I just kind of, I had a near-death experience. Like, I literally had a near-death experience. I was hospitalized. I was on a ventilator for a week.
That'll do it. For most people.
Yeah. So for me now, it's like I don't look at like I don't want to like I want to get high. Trust me, like I want to get high.
That's always going to be there once you're an addict in recovery. That pull, that draw is always going to be there. It's just it'll fade in time. I think it'll still be there, but it'll fade. And I think it's how you deal with it at the time. It just depends on what the situation is.
I try to do service work as much as I can. Gotta hit that shit right.
Okay, so what do you need?
I don't know. Your life story, buddy.
My life story. Born November 12th, 1975. My real father passed away when I was 2 of a heart attack. He owned a radio station in downtown Puyallup. Up until 1978, when he passed away, it was KUPY Puyallup. He was a sports broadcaster.
Okay.
This will all tie in at the end. My grandfather was Commissioner of Port Tacoma. Archie Blair. Blair Waterway was named after him.
I've heard of Archie Blair.
That's my grandfather.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. When my father passed away, my mom remarried her high school sweetheart 2.5 years later, and I took his last name. They adopted me out at 3.5. Yeah, 3.5 or 4. My dad died. The trust fund was started between my grandfather and my father, and it started growing from the time I was 2 till I was 21. Growing up was normal. My stepdad, or my adopted dad,
Yeah.
He raised me. He's dad.
Yeah.
He was a state trooper. He retired from the state patrol after 35 years or so as a detective. He was a good man. We had a lot of troubles caused by me. Everything was good growing up. At the age of 8, I was molested by my neighbor.
I'm sorry.
it takes a lot to be able to admit that, but I'm okay because it wasn't my fault. It wasn't my fault, I thought for a long time it was my fault, but
it never is.
He knew better. He died a painful cancer death. Damn.
Good.
Oh darn. Anyway, that took a lot.
Yeah, I understand that.
But
I love you, Lunchy.
I was destined to be an addict from birth. My real father was an alcoholic, heavy, obese, and didn't take care of himself, and he had a heart attack. That's how he passed away. At 21, at like 16, 15 and a half, my best friend and his brother were killed by a car. They got hit by a car passing a bus in a school zone. I never dealt with any of these things, any of them. About 16 or 17, my parents told me I was getting inheritance when I turned 21. And at 18 years old, I got $250,000. And at 21, I was to get $2.5 million. It told me when I was 16. So it all went downhill from there. I'm figuring I'm getting this money. I don't need school. Why would I do that? So I partied and buried all my pain with alcohol and drugs. I started doing methamphetamines at 16 and a half, 17. So I started selling drugs. Brought to me by another family member who was a member of a motorcycle club. We won't get into all that. But he taught me everything I knew.
Yeah.
It was easy for me because I have a gift of gab. I'm good to talk to people. I don't steal from places. I don't, but it doesn't, it's a shitty situation. I dropped out of high school. Actually got expelled from high school with a 3.7 GPA.
Are you fucking serious?
Dead serious.
Jesus Christ, Lunchy.
Well, for skipping school, truancies, I figured out there was a senior that worked in the attendance office that was a little bit slow. Nice guy, but I realized if I brought him a soda pop and a Snickers in the morning, he would write me out of my third period class for dental. So they called me down to the administrator's office. And the lady there, her husband actually worked with my dad on the police force.
Yeah.
She said, "Mr. Messing, smile for me." And I smiled. She goes, "Your teeth are horrible." I'm like, "Thanks. What?" She says, "You've had 47 dental appointments this quarter."
And your teeth are fucked up.
Right? I was
There was a bad dentist.
I said, "No, I have not." And she's like, "Go see the principal." Well, I went and saw the vice principal, and like I said, I had a little bit of troubles growing up dealing with stuff. My parents didn't know about, and I never told them until later. And I was a little rebellious kid. A cop's son or a preacher's daughter. We're all a little rebellious, but I went over the top with it.
Right.
Mr. Patterson was his name, my high school vice principal, and he said, "Mr. Messing, we're going to give you a month of Saturday schools for this." And I started laughing. It was just, it's fucked up, but I laughed, and I was legitimately laughing. He says, "Why are you laughing?" I said, "Because if I'm not going to school here at my normal school during the week, what makes you think I'm going to get up on a Saturday and go to school at a different school?" That's ridiculous. And that was funny to me. Looking back on it now, it was pretty stupid, but it was funny at that time. It's like, if I'm not going to school during the week, why the hell am I going to go to a different school on Saturday? And no, that's not going to happen. So after all my troubles, that was just the straw that broke the camel's back. I don't think he cared for me laughing at him so bad.
Yeah.
But it was funny to me. As a young little punk kid, basically.
I get it.
So they expelled me, and I turned 18 that November of 93. And I got a car, got myself an apartment, and I was working odd jobs here and there, still selling drugs. And then 3 years goes by, and I got my inheritance. Now, my family and I we were really strained at that time. I entered into a business deal with my parents where they took money out of my account, my trust fund. They were able to do that once a year to better me, if it was long as like for school or things of that sort. I found out throughout the years that the timeshare in Hawaii that we had when I was growing up was funded by me, and several other things. They were kind of milking it and taken from me under the guise of school and educational purposes, which is wrong. I entered into an agreement with them. We built a new house. It ended up being 4,800 square feet, 2 2-car garages. It was huge. They were supposed to pay me. I owned 35% of it. They talked to me. Some stuff went wrong with the house, and they had to pay all the subcontractors out of their own pocket. They were going to go bankrupt. They would have had to file bankruptcy because I was on the deed. Supposedly, I had to file bankruptcy. Yeah. This is what they told me. I was 18. I was like, I don't want a bankruptcy on my record. My mom says, "Don't worry about it. We'll take your name off the deed, and when we sell the house, we'll give you your 35%." Okay, cool. That's my family. They're not gonna. All right, we'll do that then. Yeah. So in '93, they built it for, I think it was just under $300,000. They sold it in 2008 to a 24-year-old longshoreman for $1.7 million cash.
Nice.
I saw none of it.
No shit.
Not a dime.
That's a pretty big markup.
Not a dime.
307. What do you say? 300,000.
330,000
for 1.7 million.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty big markup.
With a 35% interest in the house.
Yeah, it's a pretty big markup right there, buddy.
Yeah, they got me for 6 figures.
Yeah.
And nothing. Because I was a drug addict. So I was selling drugs throughout that whole time. My dad and I had a strained relationship after all that. Well, before that, I was just doing everything I could to spite him. There's a lot of stuff that went with it. So $2.5 million, I traveled all over the world. I got married. I had a house. I had a house in Hawaii, a cabin in Florida. I drove a BMW 325 IS, had a crotch rocket in a Humvee. But I worked throughout most of my inheritance. When I first got it, I was a busser at Black Angus on South Hill in Puyallup. Yeah. I bussed. I saved all my bus money, all my tip money throughout the year, and then on every Christmas Eve, I take all of my tip money and put it into a cashier's check and donate it to the St. Jude's Children's Hospital every year. Every year. Just because I felt I wanted to give back.
Commendable. It was commendable.
Somehow. I think it made me feel a little bit better because I was, selling drugs to people. It didn't make me feel good.
Yeah.
It was what I was good at, and I couldn't really keep a normal job because I was a drug addict and an alcoholic.
Yeah. An alcoholic? Really, Lunchy?
Oh, yeah. I drank.
Damn, I can't even fucking see that.
I used to drink a half gallon of vodka, 105 a day.
Man.
I would go to the bar and I order a double 151 and Coke talls with Patron Silver back.
Jesus, Murphy.
I've done a lot in my life. I've seen a lot, and I've lived the rich life. And then I got married, and my ex-wife cheated on me with my best friend. And the only way I found out was because she had gotten pregnant. We were both doing drugs at the time. It wasn't pretty. It was a nasty divorce.
Right.
Like, I just finally signed divorce paperwork like a year and a half ago. I filed for legal separation April 14th of 2007. It was separated, in my eyes for that whole time. I lost my house. I got addicted to coke. So I lost my house. I lost my vehicles. I lost just about everything. Went to treatment a couple of times. Olala in Olala, Washington. Great place. I love that place.
I've heard of it.
It's a great place to go.
Yeah.
I highly recommend it. They do smudging and all that, and it's an outdoor setting. It's out in the peninsula. It's really nice.
Yeah, I've heard about Olala. I've heard a lot about Olala.
Last time I went to treatment was 2 years ago. I went to PCN North up in Cedar Woolley. That place is awesome.
Cool.
That's where I was finally able to release, and be able to talk about being molested as a child. You can't really get out of being an addict. You don't ever really get out of it. But you can't really move forward until all your demons in your closet are gone.
Right.
And you're dealing with them or have dealt with them. That was my big hang-up.
That's a fucking heavy hang-up, bro. And that's a heavy hang-up for a lot of people.
I told my parents about it, and they just kind of shrugged it off. Okay, well, let's just do more drugs.
Well, just because their reaction is that doesn't mean you have to just resort to doing more drugs.
I know.
Sometimes parents don't have the right reaction to things.
You know the addict mind.
I do.
And
I do.
The addict mind is going to go straight to what makes us hide and drown our demons. Every addict has a demon in their closet. It's causing them to be an addict or have an addiction.
Yes.
My opinion is if you don't deal with those, you'll still, even if you go to treatment, you can come out of treatment and you haven't dealt with it, it'll still come back up. You got to deal with everything. And be real with yourself.
Yeah.
that's how it worked for me. Well, to a point.
Yeah.
God, there's so much. I'm just kind of trying to give I'm broke now. I lost everything. I've been homeless for 10 years. Going on 10 years now. You know, some of the most real people I've ever met in my entire life are out here on these streets. And I call my friends my family, and I don't take that lightly. My family moved away. My mom and dad and I are on way better terms than we were before.
That's good.
That's for sure. One of the last times I talked to my dad when we were still fighting, he was undercover narcotics detective. I said, "Hey, what's up with you, Dad? You pissed off at me all the time because you realize I'm finally selling. You finally realized I was selling drugs, or I'm selling drugs at your house and you can't catch me, just like a little punk." And he looks at me and goes, "Maybe I turned my cheek because I love you."
Heavy.
Ouch.
Yeah.
It made me feel like the biggest piece of shit, even for saying it. I just felt like a piece of shit. And then they moved away to Montana, or to Idaho. My little brother lives in Houston, Texas.
Yeah.
So it's really strained. It was really strained for a long time. But I still talk to my parents every week. Things are getting better.
Good.
They help out when they can, when they know it's not going to go to drugs or whatnot, you know. So I don't give them the opportunity to think that. My mom helped me a couple times in my vehicle. Call her up and say, "Hey, Mom, I need a part, but I don't have any cash, and I need to get this thing running. You know, could I show you what part it is online? Maybe you could purchase it, and I go down and pick it up." And I quit asking my parents for money a long time ago. Just doesn't work.
Yeah.
So where are we at? Well, I've got 2 daughters and 2 sons. That was a strained relationship, but it's getting better. Still selling drugs, but
allegedly.
It's still selling drugs. I'm about to have a dual hip replacement. I'm in a wheelchair full time until I can get my hips done. I have to have a dual hip replacement because I got hit by a car years ago, and it just finally degenerated to the point where I have no cartilage in either hip. So now, for the last 3 years, I've been out here doing this, and thanks to COVID, I was supposed to have this done 2.5 years ago, but they stopped all non-life essential operations or surgeries, which included my hips.
Wow.
So I've been out in a wheelchair in the woods, wheeling around for 2 years now. I'm 1 appointment away from getting my surgery. But in order to have my surgery, I can't have any nicotine, methamphetamines, alcohol, no foreign substances in my body.
Right.
Right before Thanksgiving, they put me into a hotel program where I can recover there.
Yeah.
Instead of having to go to a funeral home. Wow. Instead of having to go to an old folks home. For the homeless.
Could be a funeral home. Just be happy it's not.
I don't like those kind of things because they watch. There's rules. I've been homeless for 10 years. Rules are different.
Hard.
Even
it's
little
hard,
rules,
dude.
Even little things. Like, there's 3 main rules in this place that everybody that's been through it that I've talked to that got kicked out for either breaking one of these 3 rules. You can't cover your smoke detector. Okay, duh. You can't have company and be in by 10. That's the 3 rules. Pretty simple, right? Pretty simple. Until you get somebody that's have to live by rules for 10, 15, 20 years, and it's hard.
Institutionalized.
Everybody that got kicked out broke one of those 3 rules. Heck, I've broken them.
Yeah.
Since I've been there.
Dude, the hotel program that you're at right now, like, I met one of the homies that I used to fucking do things with, you know? And fucking straight up, we were in his fucking hotel smoking. And he had his shit covered up, but some shit got through to it and it started going off.
Right, and the whole building goes off.
And then fucking somebody, just the same place you're staying at. And then the person that was like the officer for that shit came and knocked on the door. And he was like, "No, we were making bacon. And I had to leave with the quickness, dude, because I had to pack in my backpack and everything.
Yep. So I'm in there now. I've got a new girlfriend now, Tiffany. We've been together for 4.5, 5 years. She's great. She really helps out a lot. I really love her a lot. She's been there for me.
Good.
Finally got off DOC last year.
That's good.
Yeah. Took me 5 years to complete 1.
Well, you completed it.
Yeah,
that's what counts, brother.
Only because of the Blake decision, thank God.
Well, blank decisions sometimes save us, right?
Yeah, it did. It really did. It dropped 2 drug charges off my record and 2 felonies.
There you go.
And it made it easier to get funding. I enrolled in school. so I can go to school while I'm recovering for my hips. Things are looking
Yeah,
up.
and you should do that, Lunchbox. You should do all of that.
I'm going to become a paralegal so that I can come back out here and help these guys, because these fucking
Lunchbox.
cops roll all over these people. I mean, they're supposed to be public servants, but they're not.
They're not.
They treat people like shit.
Yes, they do.
And they think they can get away with it because nobody voices an opinion or anything. You can't just walk in, I don't care where you're at, and open a door or lift up a tarp or look through a window and go in through a window. We have rights as, human rights. Just for a cop to do that, open the door without a warrant and no probable cause, is a Fourth Amendment's rights violation. You can't do that.
Will you pause it and then start it again? Or just end? All right, continue.
So, where was I?
You were talking
Fourth
about
Amendment's
the
rights
cops and
violation.
the Fourth
Yeah.
Amendment, yeah.
I want to come back out here and help these guys with legal advice or whatnot, or whatever I can do to help them. I wanted to do it right away, but a friend of mine who works for the homeless, it makes sense. He says, you got to get both feet out of the trenches and not be looking back to help them. You have to be square in your life to be able to help them.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And it makes sense. I didn't think of it like that. These people are my friends and my family, and I feel bad. I'm in a hotel at night. I'm down here every day because my stuff is still down here, and I still, these guys are my family. 10 years of my life.
Right.
You grow bonds with these people, and it's a good group of people down here. They're not all, they go out and they do what they have to do to live and survive. They're not stealing from people. I can't say they're not stealing from companies.
Right. Fuck companies.
A lot of people down here do pallets. They get pallets at night and they sell them to make a living. And
I used to do that. I used to do cardboard. That was my thing.
I used to work at that place at Sunoco.
Sunoco? No shit. You worked there?
Yeah.
Fuck, dude. That was my spot, dude. They knew me. Everybody knew me there. They're like, hey, he's coming in with his cardboard. And I'd be coming in with the pallets.
I was a floor worker there for years until I got fired because of cocaine. That was a great job. I lost that because of drugs.
We lose a lot of things because of drugs, but
we lose everything for drugs.
Yeah.
I tell people that all the time. They just don't want to hear it from me. It's like, man, there was this one guy. He was coming in and he said, "I'm just a weekend warrior." He was in the military. He was successful. He had a nice avalanche truck, and I looked right at him. I was shaking my head. And he says, "What do you shake your head for?" Like I was trying to clown him. I said, "You don't want my opinion." He said, "No, dog. We gets all hypey about it." And I said, "Look, check it out, man. I'm half your age, but I'm going to tell you something right now. Within 6 months, this shit's going to ruin your life. You're going to lose absolutely everything you have if you don't watch it. Weekend warrior my ass.
Yep.
You're going to lose everything."
Personally, as somebody that I've seen it too, dude. 8
months later, they found him. The military was looking for him because he went AWOL. So he went AWOL. He was high-centered on I-5 right in front of the Tacoma Mall in his avalanche on the median, wearing a pair of Daisy Dukes and no shirt with a bunch of scrap all over the road.
Smoked.
And that's when they picked him up.
Smoked.
The military, but he was able to come back out of it.
Good.
And get back into his military career. He had to jump through a bunch of shit, but he found me. I ran into him at a Walmart, and he looked at me and he goes, I really wished I would have listened. But you were half my age. You were younger, and you looked like a punk, and, it's whatever. I said, man, I've seen it. I'm doing this shit.
I've seen it too.
30 years now.
And then, hey, listeners, this is coming from somebody who's 26 years old. It doesn't matter what the fuck your age is. You know what I'm saying? Your shit can get fucked.
It will take everything.
It will take everything.
And people have their arguments as to, well, I've done drugs for this long, and I hold a job, and I do this, and I do that. I'm like, oh, good for you. I'm happy you can do that. That's great.
Until you get drug tested.
In the end, it will take everything.
It will take fucking everything.
It may take years. For some, it takes years. For some, it doesn't take that long at all. People just...
Some people have a certain amount of resistance to it, but that resistance never holds. This shit is designed. When they first made methamphetamine, they said they wanted to make a drug that could sell itself. And that was just methamphetamine.
Until they came up with those blues.
Yeah, exactly. That was just methamphetamine.
Yeah.
That's not even the tip of the fucking iceberg now.
So I've been to treatment 4 times now. Obviously, they didn't work. The last one was the best one. I stayed clean the longest. I don't count my inpatient time as clean time.
Right.
I'm not out on it. It's like telling somebody you're going to stay clean when you go to jail. I'm going to get out and I'm going to be clean. I'm not touching drugs again. Well, it's easy to say when you're locked up and it's harder to get. I'm not going to say it's impossible to get because it is in jail.
Yeah, you can still get high in jail.
Right. Who wants to? Oh my God, I did that once. One time I got high in jail. It was the worst time ever. 2 guys tried to escape from Pierce County Jail and they locked us down for like 38 hours. Right as I did a big line of meth.
No!
Yeah, dude, I just sit on my
Bugging!
I was a trustee, and that's when we could have our own shoes at the time. And I was sitting back, and I'm just cleaning with my little toothbrush. I'm just cleaning my shoes. This is the worst experience of my life. Dude, it sucked so bad. It sucked so bad. So I just stopped. I was like, I'm not doing drugs in jail. Like all that.
Oh,
Not doing
fucking, that sucks.
No. Sucked.
That sucks.
Long story short, I'm about ready to go have this surgery done, and it's 8 to 16 weeks recovery. I'm done. I'm done with it all. I need to help these guys out. I mean, you've seen what happened since I left camps.
Yes.
I never thought that I was someone of that importance or someone that you know, called shots or whatever. That's not who I am. That's
Anybody with a gift for a gab can. Like you said earlier, you had a gift for a gab, and that makes sense.
I didn't see it.
But you don't have to see it yourself. Other people do, Lunchbox. You're an influential person. The way that you talk.
I see it now more so since I've left the camps, because I don't stay here at night. I'm here during the day. I'm still packing up my belongings because DOT's going to come through here and shut this whole thing down.
Yeah.
The new freeway is coming through here, so it was inevitable. But what they've done now since I left, I don't know if you have any shots of the field over here during the day.
A little bit. Like I had a couple for the opening, but
there was none of that. We kept all the garbage on the backside of the natural curve of the trees here. No cars were coming in and out. And these guys were coming in all night long. And you got cops in here looking for stolen cars. The 3 years I was here, not one stolen car got recovered from here because they weren't here. If people came down asking about stolen vehicles, I would give them my number and say, hey, if your car shows up here, I'll call you. I won't call the police, but I'll call you or send you a message. And then I'd make them call my phone so they hear it ring so they know I give them the right number. I mean, that's the best I can do.
Commendable.
I also was told that I could get in trouble for that. For some reason. I don't know. I didn't bother me. I don't care if somebody stole me. I didn't want the trouble.
It's because the cops want their little fucking cut, bro. That's
we have to live around people. We have to live and cohabitate with the neighbors around us. And I wanted to make as little impact or as small as footprints as I could out here. And over the last 3 weeks, well, since Thanksgiving, it's now what, the 2nd of January?
3rd now.
3rd.
Yeah.
It's horrendous down here. I don't even like coming down here anymore. I was down here last night at 8 o'clock and 6 police came through looking for a car. And they used to come down 1 or 2 at a time, no guns, no anything like that. Last night they came in SWAT style with their hands on the shoulders, their AR-15s and their guns drawn like it was some bad, you know, it's just like, wow.
It's fucked up.
And that's how they think of it now.
Yeah.
I was here 2.5 years before anybody even knew we were here.
I remember.
In the last year and a half, it's just gone straight downhill. Especially since we took off.
It's been about 1.5 years since I've been frequenting down here, honestly.
Yeah, it's changed a lot.
I remember how it was back then. Now
people don't care. And what these guys don't realize is Fife has instituted a no camping law. Tacoma has a no camping law or ordinance. Federal Way has no camping ordinance. Sumner doesn't want them there. Puyallup has made it very vocal that if anybody comes in homeless, they'll trespass them everywhere they can until they can't go anywhere in the city anymore.
Yeah.
Which, off record, is, they say it off record, you can't do that, but they'll try. They're Puyallup, they're dirty as fuck.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
I know it.
They're just dirty.
Yeah.
So, that being said, these guys are fucking this place off left and right. It looks like shit. They had one chick started a fire on her place and told everybody to fuck off. She didn't care. And with the fire department showing up to fix the problem, put it out, they got sideswiped by an 18-wheeler.
Oh, Jesus.
All that caused by one person. That's going to get them shut down. I tried to tell these guys, you got to keep it low key. They're shutting this down. They want every reason to do it now. It's the middle of winter. These guys have nowhere to go. There's no programs open.
Yeah.
The shelters beds are all full. There's no programs that are going to allow anybody into it right now. There's a waiting list on the hotel that I'm in.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm only in by the grace of God. The officer, I'm pretty sure, I don't know, I'm pretty sure he pulled some strings to get me in there so I can get my surgery done.
Well, thank God for that.
Officer Pearson, he's great. He's great. I'll say that. I don't care. I don't like cops, but he's great. He's fair.
Officer McDonald's great. I don't like cops, but he took care of me when I was on the streets. He did.
He's Officer Pearson is, and Officer, oh my gosh, what is his name? Oh my God, Temple. Officer Temple. He's been arresting me for over 20 years.
Temple from fucking Sumner?
Puyallup. What's his brother, I think, in Sumner.
Oh,
Officer
okay,
Temple.
yeah. I know Temple and Sumner.
Kudos to that man. He's always been fair. And there's been times where I should have a... Well, let's just say I'll just say he's always been a good man, but been fair to me.
Right.
Does his job when he has to.
I mean, they should be. They should be fucking...
There are a few that are good.
Yeah, I believe it.
There are a few that are good. He's one of them.
I'm anti-cop. My listeners know that.
And so am I. I am too. Yeah. Even with my dad as a state trooper. But growing up like that, I also learned how with him, my dad, there was no gray area. It was cut and dry, black and white, no nothing. And the interrogations were just like a freaking cop would in a interview room. So I learned all that shit. I learned these things.
I know what you're doing to me.
Yeah.
My dad would do the same thing.
I got a few questions for you. I'm like, yeah, are you gonna? So you go through the questioning, and whoa, let me ask you a few more. I'm like, well, are you gonna ask me in a different way?
Sir, am I being detained?
Right. So I don't know. I'm happier homeless than I was with money. And I'm sorry if I'm skipping all over the place.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Like I said before, breaking free from the system is a beautiful thing.
I can tell who my real friends are more so than I could then.
Right.
Homeless people are real.
They are.
Real fake. A lot of them.
I mean,
it is what it is.
I mean, I would say that I don't know. Honestly, bro, I would say that I've met more fakes in the fucking
real world
normie community than I would like.
It cracks me up. People drive by here, and the normies drive by here and shout and this, that, and the other thing, and it's just like, man, one of these days.
One of these fucking. If you only fucking know.
90% of these people, the normal people, quote unquote, the normies.
Yeah.
Are one or two paychecks away from being right where we're at. And
so
I could guarantee you, any one of these people out here in this camp right here that were camped by me or with me or around all of these, I've grown up with all these people in this homeless community. We will be the first to hand you a coat if you're cold, tell you where to go to get food, or hand you food if you're hungry. Nobody out here is going to let anybody go hungry, go cold, or, we've all been there. We've all been there. I remember when I first got homeless, man. It was so much for me to go down to the center in Puyallup. I fought it and fought it. I'm not going, because if I go in my mind, I'm admitting defeat.
Right.
The world got me. They kicked my ass. I am now officially homeless. I got in there and somebody told me to go find River Jim. River Jim. Yeah, you're new. You got to go find River Jim. He'll help you. Jim Cooper. He passed away 2 years ago.
Rest in peace.
God, I love that man. That man was a good man. He would give you the shirt off his back. He got the heart condition. I can't remember. Anyway, his legs were swelling up. He couldn't. He was giving away. He loved bikes. He loved bikes. He had so many of them. Bought legit. He was giving them away because he couldn't ride anymore. He couldn't walk 10 feet. Congestive heart failure is what it was. He couldn't walk 10 feet without catching a breath or whatever, and he went from riding all the time every day to nothing.
Yeah.
And was giving his bikes to people because he knew he was going to die. I found this out later. He knew he was going to die. They gave him a time, and I didn't know that. He didn't say anything to me. I saw that man every day, daily. And when I'd go to jail, he would make sure that Tiffany was taken care of. I mean, she could take care of herself, but she could go there and stay in the RV or, handle business, whatever, in whatever tab she racked up was wiped immediately when I got out. Such food stuff and things like that. It wasn't drugs. It wasn't. But, she knew she could do that, and he did that for me just because of, growing up together. I mean, he was older.
Yeah.
He was a generation above me. He's gone now. One of the best guitarists I've ever met in my life. One of the best bass guitarists I've ever met. He knew a lot of famous people. And he wouldn't go play on stage. He could have been not homeless. But his girlfriend at the time was crazy. I mean, legitimately, batshit crazy. If I could explain some of the shit that I've been through with that lady. He wouldn't go play because she couldn't handle the people or the lifestyle. So he remained homeless for her because he loved her. He didn't have to live in tents and piss and shit in buckets or on trees or be dirty or do any of this shit. He chose to for her.
Yeah.
That's the kind of people that are out here. You've got them on both ends of the spectrum, but guys like him, Great people, man. He was great. It's sad to see him go.
Yeah.
I've lost so many friends out here.
I understand it, Lunchy.
So many friends. There's a time where I lost 37 friends in like 42 months. That's almost a friend a year, or a friend a month. It averages out to like a friend a month for 3 years.
Yeah, it's a lot, man.
It's lifestyle choices, I get that. But you get close to these people, and you see their pains, and you talk with them, and there's times out here where I guarantee you I've had each and every one of these people out here have come to me at some point in time, and we've had real heart-to-heart conversations about their lives and their problems, and and they all come to me. And it's sad. It's really sad.
Then you do good as an outreach worker, man.
A lot of people,
like as what you were saying earlier.
A lot of people hurt. I guess I'm just easy to talk to. A lot of people come to me with problems that they need solved. And that's where I didn't realize that in a way, I was a leader or somebody that they looked up to. There's a lot of us out here.
Right.
But now that I've picked up and gone to inside, it hit me more. it hit me quicker.
Yeah.
I realized it and was finally like, wow. I guess I was, looked up to. Which makes me feel good too.
Well, hold on to that, man.
It makes me feel good to know that people trusted my suggestions or
man.
wanted my opinions or...
Hold on to that, Lunchy. Hey, man, thank you for talking to me again, Lunch.
Yeah, man.
Give me another... I love you, man.
I love you too, bro.
I love you, bro.
If you ever want to do any more interviews, man, I'm here. I don't mind. I like talking.
Of course, man.
It helps me like it helps you.
Uh-oh.
Oh, one last thing. I don't want anybody to feel sorry for me or my problems at all. I put myself here. I put the pipe to my mouth. I did drugs. My choices are the ones that put me homeless and did, mine.
Right.
So I wanted to get that out too. I don't want anybody to feel sorry for me. That's not what this was about.
We're not here for pity. We're here for awareness.
My choices put me where I'm at. Nobody else's.
Likewise.
And that's what I wanted to say.
Likewise. Love you, Lunch. Thank you. Thank you for
Yeah,
talking,
no
man.
problem.
So much. Thank you. All right, guys. And with the conclusion to that last interview, that right there is the face of homelessness. That was my attempt to try to personify, give life to, give a voice to the people that don't necessarily feel like they have a voice all the time. I remember when I was on the streets, I didn't feel like I had a voice. It didn't matter. I mean, you would go places and ask for help and they wouldn't be able to give you help. And you'd try to use resources that was said to be available, but they never seemed to actually be available. It's hard when you're homeless. Food banks need mail and an address to give you a decent amount of food. If you don't have an address in any place that mail is shipped to, it's pretty hard as a homeless to get decent amount of food from food banks. I remember them hooking me up with little things that they called street bags, and it would have like a couple of non-perishable cans of food, maybe some powdered milk, some hygiene products, but it would be about enough to last you for a day or two. And with food banks not being open every single day, and with you not having a car or any type of transportation from point A to point B, it's actually really hard to keep yourself fed, keep yourself clean, and keep yourself okay when you're in that position. And that's just my personal experience. That's my personal experience. I remember, being 18 years old, a kid, my baby's mom was pregnant. We were both on the streets. We didn't have any ability to get into any programs. There wasn't hotel programs. There wasn't, shelters that would accept us or take us in. I mean, we reached out to multiple churches trying to get help, but it just wasn't something that was plausible for us. So we never got it. Eventually, out of the goodness of other people's hearts, like my baby's mom got to go back with her grandparents, and I was just stuck, left on the streets. I didn't have anywhere to go, and my addiction was running rampant. My daughter was already born at that point in time. And I just couldn't get my head out of my ass. I couldn't, but I did eventually. But it took a lot for me to eventually get my head out of my ass. It took a lot. Like I mentioned when talking to Lunchbox, I had to go to the hospital, get intubated, was on a life support ventilator type thing for a week. Woke up, didn't recognize who my family was, who my daughter was. I didn't know who I was. I was so doped up off fentanyl and shit that they were pumping inside of me. I probably ruined a good portion of my body for the rest of my life. I mean, if you look at the statistics of people that survive that have lived on ventilators or been on ventilators, it's not very high. A lot of them die of complications later. So that's scary. But I was given a second chance to do better. So I chose to go ahead and do better instead of taking the alternative route and dying. You know, like I got really lucky, guys. When I applied for the job that I currently work at now, I've been working here for 2 years, more than 2 years. I've had a place to live for over 2 years now, which is crazy because I never had my own place. I was always sleeping in someone else's room, on someone else's couch, or in a tent somewhere, or in my truck somewhere, parked somewhere. I had a camper on the back of a black F-250 for like a year and a half that I lived inside of. And that was horrendous. It was terrible, you know? It wasn't as bad as it could have been. Really, honestly, it wasn't as bad as it could have been. It was pretty luxurious homeless living comparatively to some people that have to stay inside of tents or in the side of Five Rivers or in pallet palaces, you know? So, like I said, guys, this is a topic that really hits home for me. Homelessness really hits home for me. Addiction really hits home for me. I think that everybody deserves a voice. Everybody deserves a second chance. And everybody deserves to feel like they're okay. I don't really know if I'm going to do a second part to this Face of Homelessness, but I might. Like I stated when talking to Lunchbox, it's really hard to get people to talk down there. You know, a lot of them don't want to because they don't want to. I wouldn't. Back in my day when I was on the side of the shit, dude, if I would have seen somebody coming down there with a fucking I would have attacked them. I'd have been like, "You're a fat bro. Blah. What the fuck are you doing down here trying to catch me up?" Blah. You know, because I was smoked. I was crazy. I was fucking gone, brother. But I'm back now. At least a little bit of me is. Or hopefully most of me. Sometimes it doesn't feel like I'm back, you know. Sometimes it feels like the person that I was died a long time ago. And I'm basically now just holding on to what I thought I used to be. But the only thing that I can do now is stay persistent and keep my head up. And that's the only thing that any of us can do. But anywho, thank you guys for tuning in to yet another fun-filled episode of AntiSlave Question Everything. I really appreciate you guys watching this. If you sat through the whole 2 hours and 11 minutes of content of me talking to my homies, I really appreciate it. Because they deserve to be heard, man. Everybody deserves to be heard. And there's not one human being in this world that's useless or not worth a while, except for pedophiles and power elites and government officials, politicians, Hillary Clinton, Bill Gates. I guess there's a couple of people out there that don't deserve shit. But the ones that don't deserve shit, honestly, have the most. And that's just how it is. Alright, guys. As usual, this is your host, Beau Diggles. And if there's one thing I can ask y'all, it's always remember to question everything. I'm out. Bye!